Classic, 8 p.m. Tuesday.
This is Best of Sports Center.
What a year it was. It was a year for the ages.
For the young. And for the old.
It was a year of storybook endings on the court, but real-life drama off the court.
Charges were filed against Kobe Bean Bryant.
It was a year of triumph, but also a year of tragedy.
I mean, it brings me to tears.
It was a year to make history and break down barriers, and a year to say it like no one else could.
We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
So take your seats for the main event as Nick Bakay hands out the award.
Because you're a difference maker, baby.
Chris Berman counts down the top 10 plays of the year, and we relive the unforgettable images that were the best of SportsCenter 2003 now.
Welcome to Best of SportsCenter, presented by GMC Trucks.
Welcome to Best of Sports Center. Along with Steve Levy, I'm Linda Cohn. In the next 90 minutes, we will celebrate and look back at the biggest stories in the last 12 months in sports.
And we begin with Kobe. 2003 should have been a year of promise, but Kobe Bryant's Lakers watched the NBA Finals on television, so they reloaded with a pair of future Hall of Famers. Then came Kobe's trip to Colorado for minor knee surgery. What occurred on that trip shocked the sports world. Mike Greenberg takes us through the events.
On June 30th, Kobe Bryant checked into the Lodge and Spa at Cordillera in Edwards, Colorado. Bryant was in town to undergo surgery on his right knee the following day at the Vail Valley Regional Medical Center. On the afternoon of Bryant's surgery, a front desk employee of the Lodge and Spa made a report to the Eagle County Sheriff's Office. The 19-year-old woman, a former cheerleader at Eagle Valley High School, told authorities she had been sexually assaulted the night before in Bryant's room. In the early morning hours of July 2nd, police accompanied Bryant to Valley View Hospital, where he voluntarily gave authorities DNA samples. Colorado cab driver Terry O'Brien then picked up Bryant at the hospital, driving him and his bodyguards to the Hotel Colorado, which Bryant entered under a veil of secrecy.
He was escorted in, covered, escorted into the back door, and I thought, you know, it was kind of unusual. Here it is, 4 in the morning, and I'm prowling around Glenwood in a cab, looking at the rear entrances of hotels.
Bryant flew home to Southern California later on that day, July 2nd. On July 4th, his attorneys were notified that a warrant for his arrest had been issued on suspicion of felony sexual assault. Bryant flew back to Colorado the same day, was booked and released after posting $25,000 bond. Eagle County authorities spent the 2 weeks following Bryant's surrender determining whether there was sufficient evidence to file charges. District Attorney Mark Hurlbert faced the cameras July 18th to announce his decision.
Earlier today, after much deliberation, charges were filed against Kobe Bean Bryant of Newport Beach, California.
Bryant emotionally proclaimed his innocence at a press conference later that evening, although he admitted to having had sex with the hotel employee.
I sit here before you guys, embarrassed and ashamed for committing adultery.
We picked the story up on October 9th when Bryant comes to the Eagle County Courthouse for a preliminary hearing. Lawyers give the public a taste of what a trial might be like, with Bryant's defense team targeting his accuser and the prosecution countering that Bryant's legal team is purposely smearing the alleged victim. On October 20th, Bryant is ordered to stand trial. The next hearing on pretrial motions in the case is scheduled for January. The trial is not expected until well into next year.
A poll conducted by ESPN.com showed nearly a 50-50 split on the question of whether you think Bryant committed a crime. As for basketball, Kobe leads all Western Conference guards in voting for the NBA All-Star Game, which is scheduled for February 15th on his home court in Los Angeles.
We've only just started with the best of the best. Forget Germany. Baseball enjoyed an incredible Oktoberfest, from a 300-game winner to an heir apparent winning the biggest game of his life. What didn't the playoffs have? Sound fishy? We relive all the magical moments from an especially memorable month.
I'm living a dream that I want to live, and I'm doing what I want to do.
I'm embarrassed for the Yankees, the Red Sox, the fans.
From Annika to Zim and points in between, we go from A to Z in our pursuit of all the quotes that made you laugh and happy to be a sports fan, or cringe and jump off your couch in anger in 2003. It's a little something we call Sounds of the Year. And he enjoyed football's biggest reward on the field, but suffered life's most vicious trial off it. The story of Joe and Megan Juravicious and their son is one you won't soon forget.
In a new era of combat, a lone soldier
Buckle up, folks.
will become the ultimate weapon. Mech Assault 2, Lone Wolf. Available now. Rated T.
For the past 2 years, my mom has been the team mom. She likes the Knicks a lot. She watches very closely what we eat.
Boys, what is this?
And of course, she makes sure we eat our Campbell's chunky soup, like new savory beef pot roast.
How about those big chunks of beef and veggies?
Our team's a family, and she's the mom.
Campbell's Chunky. It fills you up right.
Scent is the strongest sense tied to memory. How will you be remembered? Introducing Red Zone Body Spray in 4 great scents that all last longer than the leading body spray.
He's so great.
Red Zone Body Spray. Spice things up all day, all night. You can also smell great with Red Zone Invisible Solid and Body Wash.
Welcome back to Best of Sports Center. 2003 marked the 30-year anniversary of Title IX, the landmark law that requires women's collegiate sports be given equal funding with men's proportionate to a school's enrollment. Equality in sports has been both a rallying cry and a flashpoint in the 3 decades of Title IX, but in the last year, equality became fact. It began on January 14th when Tennessee coach Pat Summitt became the first woman to win 800 games in her career, joining Dean Smith and Adolph Rupp, among others, on that short and prestigious list. Summitt was joined 8 days later by Texas coach Jody Conrad in the 800 club. Conrad owns 1 national championship, 3 Final Four appearances. She was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in '98. UConn's women's basketball team continued its dominance in April, winning its 2nd straight national championship. Diana Taurasi led the way with 28 points in the title game. The Huskies finished an amazing 37-1. On May 22nd, Annika Sorenstam became the first woman in 58 years to play on the PGA Tour, teeing it up at the Colonial in Fort Worth. While she missed the cut, Sorenstam held her own amid a media frenzy. In the fall, the Women's World Cup returned to the U.S. after being moved from China because of the SARS epidemic. The U.S. national team failed to repeat as champs, falling in the semis to the eventual winners, Germany. Steve?
Linda, if the ESPYs are the Academy Awards of sports, does that make the NBs the Golden Globes? Anyone can have his athlete or team of the year, but it takes a special person with a little moxie, if you will, to hand out the hardware for, among others, getting one's freak on. And we've got just the guy. His name is Nick Bakay.
Welcome to the 8th annual ENBYs, my initials, my awards. For the moments in 2003 that made a Nick Bakay spit bourbon and drop the remote. But first, let's eyeball that magnificent lucite. Oh, she's a beauty. Built with old world craftsmanship for easy resale on eBay. The kind of award that tells the world it's time for Lawrence Taylor to send escorts to your hotel room because you're a difference maker, baby. So let's pass out the honors while the entire sports world takes this opportunity to pee out some THG. Speaking of THG, the Raiders. They go from Super Bowl II.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America.
And bag an NB in the category. Congratulations, you're the new Bengals. Sadly, the remaining members of NSYNC try to move on without Justin Timberlake. And the NB for getting your freak on goes to Brad Johnson and Monty Kiffin as they celebrate the news of Keyshawn's release. That rates a poke my eyes out on the things I can't unsee meter. Bernie Williams flies to left, Manny Ramirez shags it, and gives the fans a souvenir. One problem, there were only 2 outs. Oh, hey, you know what's really funny? You're gonna clear waivers in a month. Ricky Davis shoots at his own rim just so he could shag his own rebound and lock in a triple-double. There may not be an I in team, but there is one in Cavalier. You can look it up. Selfish play, thy name is envy. Albert Pujols, he stoinks one to right in Houston, where things get ugly enough to rate a needle-busting 11 on the things I can't unsee meter. Slam dunk winner in the get the F out of my way category, but in his defense, the kid did call it. To the ice, where Oiler coach Craig McTavish shows why he was the last NHL player to play without a helmet. And Harvey the Hound gets our NB in the category, great. Now I gotta get my grandmother to sew this back on. Year after year, the woo NB, it goes to motorsports, but this year we're breaking it down to 2 wheels and some new bridge work. Woo! A perfect 10 on the dismount alone. Mike Tyson weighs in on Kobe Gate courtside and shags the NB for please stop helping me. Somewhere Bill Buckner is high-fiving Leon Durham, and the NB goes to poor Steve Barkman, who instinctively reaches for a ball and ushers in a whole new era where fans can be playoff pariahs too. He gets escorted out under heavy security, while the real culprit, Mark Fryer, stays in the game and wins an NB for blame bullet dodged. In the please don't muss my hair category, Fox finally broadcast something worse than one of those in-game cell phone calls with Robin Williams. Apparently Pedro's seen his share of bullfights, and Zim rates a wince and a TiVo replay on the things I can never unsee meter. NB's all around. And the NB goes to anyone who had the guts to finally let Carl Lewis take another shot at the national anthem. Word reaches Layla Ali and Christy Martin that they've only sold 19 seats for their fight, and they kick things up a notch. They also win the NB for the next best thing to a women in prison movie marathon. Ladies, please, wait till I pour a scotch. Okay, anybody else tingling? Speaking of great TV, is it just me, or is Max Kellerman making those sports writers go too far to win a point? Again, anyone else tingling? A well-deserved NB to the Braves stole to answer the eternal question, why is soccer so popular in England? I can only assume the Golden Palace is a chat room for those who suffer from the heartbreak of poor muscle tone. Color me there. The NB for putting the vision in Diamond Vision, that goes to David Horton. He kisses his girl at a Reds game, gets spotted by his parole officer, gets arrested. Huh, I guess the whole world got to share his last kiss with a woman. And finally, the moment we have all been waiting for, the 8th annual NB for working the forbidden speed bag. Chuck Merriweather, take a bow. Stonk to the strings of my groin. The worst part? The Quest Tech camera scored that ball. Here's to you. Here's to all the winners. Hey, and if you didn't hear your number called, you know what to do. You get out there and you get your freak on so I can mention you next year. Until then, I'm Nick Bakay.
Nice going, Nick. Next on Best of Sports Center, he wears number 23. He's a multi-millionaire, and he's the new face of the NBA, like it or not.
Later on Best of Sports Center, Chris Berman shows off his collection of the best plays of 2003. He counts them down as only Boomer can in the top 10 plays of the year.
What's that?
Oh, it's a duvet cover.
A what?
A duvet cover. It's a decorative sham that also protects. Watch the game. The double quarter pounder with cheese. Pound one. Oh!
I'm loving it. Watch it. It's a throw pillow.
ESPN News.
Scores, highlights, analysis, 24/7.
Breaking news to report.
And Sundays, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern, ESPN News breaks down all the NFL action.
Blitzing, sacked 5 times.
Every game, in progress, and as they finish. Post-game with players.
It's anybody's ball game.
Coaches.
It was a good team win.
Plus Ditka and Salzburg.
How many big plays has this guy made? He has been spectacular.
Deep coverage of the NFL. Every Sunday starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. Exclusively on ESPN News.
Hi, this is Ray Romano. This July, TBS is...
Man, you're talking to these nice people and you can't put on a better shirt?
Hi, this is Ray Romano, and everybody loves Raymond.
Who are you talking to? What are you doing?
I'm in promo for TBS.
Well, how come they never asked me?
Because they don't want to scare the children.
Okay.
Sponsored locally by U.S. Cellular. Get 1,000 nationwide anytime minutes with no roaming or long distance for just $35 a month.
Does staying on top of your debt seem like a bad carnival game? Whenever you whack down one debt, 2 more pop up to take its place. You keep on swinging, but you know it's a game you just can't win. Maybe it's time to get a bigger hammer. Debt Stoppers, 888-619-0400. Chicago's new force in debt elimination, 888-619-0400. Debt Stoppers can stop your debt.
Welcome back to Best of Sports Center, presented by GMC Trucks.
With the 3rd pick in the 2003 NBA Draft, the Denver Nuggets select Carmelo Anthony.
That was Carmelo Anthony's year, a year that was about as good as it gets. Unless your name is LeBron James, it's impossible to feel bad for this 19-year-old Cleveland Cavalier. He's very wealthy. He's also looking at a long NBA career that many feel could remind people of another number 23. The last year has seen him go from a high school senior to the center of the basketball universe. It's okay to call it storybook, but a closer look suggests that the ride, Hummer or not, has had some twists. Jealousy is one of the biggest. Here's Mark Schwartz on LeBron and resentment.
I have arrived.
He has the smile that can launch 1,000,000 Nielsen meters. The game that can elevate one of sports' sorriest franchises. And LeBron James has the audacity to grab a $100 million Nike deal before even stepping on the NBA stage. Just imagine how his peers feel about that.
I will take on adversity in the pursuit of glory.
People that's been in the league for 10, 6 years who think they're a superstar too and should get that much attention and get everything he get is kind of, you know, kind of envious of it. Well, he's never been played anything. He's never done this. I've been this. I've been that. You're giving him this and giving him that, and he's never proven himself.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some players hating on him. I mean, I can tell them that from experience. I mean, there's players out there who are just blatantly jealous, and they want what you have, and they're mad because they don't have it.
Yeah, well, so what? People are jealous all the time, and no matter what. One guy's got a car deal. I don't have a car deal, all right? Yeah, but you're making X amount of money. You can buy a car. No, I want a car deal because this guy's got a car deal. And this guy has a beer commercial. Why don't I have a beer commercial? Because we've all coached guys like this.
What would you say to those players?
Just work hard. You know, I worked hard to get here. You know, it's a lot like I was just sitting here from the heaven above. I had to work hard to get here, and you know, I'm gonna keep working hard, and hopefully the guys that's, you know, a little jealous, you know, I don't know if it's a lot of it, but I hope they just keep working hard too and just stay in this league as well as I want to be.
The commissioner insists the league is not marketing James more than any other player. Okay, so the networks are doing it for him.
And there is the man of the hour in probably the most anticipated debut of any first-year athlete in any sport.
The Cavaliers had not been on national television since December of 2000. The LeBronaliers have been headliners 3 times in their first 4 games.
He's the face of the NBA right now. You know, you can't knock it. And we got to feed off of him.
Do you like being the face of the NBA?
That's what you're saying. You know, I don't believe it. I'm at Jerry West, the face of the NBA. He on all the jerseys, not me.
James may not be on all the jerseys, but nobody else's is nearly as popular. Almost 500,000 sold since he was drafted in June.
He's bringing a whole new audience that the other guys couldn't bring in.
Magic Johnson was LeBron James before James was born. His charisma, his unselfishness, and his unparalleled court sense made Johnson the focus of the basketball universe his rookie year. Magic says, rather than resent James, his peers ought to take a hard look at themselves.
I don't want the other guys to hate on him because you don't have what LeBron has. Your game may be better, but your personality may not be there. LeBron is putting pressure on the other guys. And if you don't like it, then, you know, move aside, because he's moving up.
Tiger Woods has more in common with LeBron James than a birthday and a lucrative shoe contract. In 1996, Woods grabbed his sport by the collar, and the established pros were not thrilled. Neither with the monumental Nike paycheck the unproven Woods pocketed, nor by the way he managed to snatch the entire spotlight before winning his first major.
You know what my Nike contract says? That I don't have to play their equipment if I found something better. How's that for pressure? Did I warrant the contract that I got? No, because I didn't accomplish anything at the professional level. But it was a risk that Nike took, and one that certainly helped me feel more at ease because my financial future was secure.
About 7 years ago, he comes in as a real young guy. All anybody wants to talk about is Tiger Woods. Nick Price is playing great. Justin Leonard. Hey, Justin, you shot 64. Good. Tiger shot 71 today. He's 7 strokes behind you. Is this a little like that?
It is. You know, I hadn't really thought about that, but it is. No matter what anybody else on the team does, it's all LeBron.
And Tiger says if his Nike teammate thinks he can avoid resentment, he's kidding himself.
There's no doubt about that, and it's just part of the deal. It's part of the process.
What have you heard about people resenting him? What kind of talk have you heard?
Well, I know it's a lot of guys at Nike that are under Nike contracts that weren't too happy about that contract.
We're all having a short memory here now. When Michael was getting 30-some to 50 million from Nike, I don't think all the other guys with the shoe contracts were selling shoes. The only shoe that was being sold was the Michael Jordan shoe.
Well, we're envious, you know. We wish we could be in those shoes.
In the interest of team unity, the Cavaliers say they've made a conscious effort to feature all 5 starters in their marketing. A thoughtful gesture, though it appears none of James' teammates begrudge him all this attention.
Everybody wants to watch him, and, you know, us, we just support him like, go get more. If you can get 200 million, go get it. He doesn't put himself above anyone, the team or anyone else included, and I think that's the reason it works.
This time he dishes to his trailer, Davis. How about that?
He may be King James to his followers, but to the Cavaliers, he's still an 18-year-old rook who must serve before he is allowed to rule.
He has to bring donuts to shoot around. He has to carry bags just like any other rookie, and that's the way he's treated. He's treated as a rookie. This is something that he's willing to do. If he wasn't willing to do it, that would be a real problem, but he has no problem. He blends in. He doesn't want to be treated special.
His beleaguered team may be years away from being a bona fide contender, and he's no lock for Rookie of the Year. In fact, LeBron James may win little this season other than the slam dunk contest All-Star Weekend. But for many of the men in his business, James has already won the race that matters most.
I have come with a purpose.
Take some lessons. Don't hate him. Take some lessons and then get your own endorsements.
You know, if LeBron has reason to be envious of anyone, it might be Carmelo Anthony. The number 1 and 3 picks have faced each other twice this year, with Anthony outscoring James 40-26. Oh, by the way, Carmelo's Nuggets took both games from LeBron's Cavaliers.
You know those romance paperbacks they sell in airports, the one with Fabio on the cover, about a former flashy sports star with an edgy nickname who's lost it all, and at his lowest point, he's rescued by the pretty but shy pet store clerk who helps him discover who he really is. Admit it, you have. And the covers always have some mention of the height of passion. When you hear what sports people said in 2003, you may laugh or cry, agree or disagree, but you'll hear the height of passion as we pump up the volume with the sounds of 2003.
I can't hear you. Are you ready? Something out. Something out.
Been working this for a long time. It's our opportunity.
I'm going to get one. Sap, I'm going to get you.
Where I'm come from, you don't talk about it. Just be about it. Just come through and see about it.
You need to just cool that shit out. Because ain't nobody buying it, man. Just play around.
We'd rather be 11-1 frauds than 7-5, you know, hanging from a string from Mike Shanahan, sucking on his behind all the time.
If I drop dead for second, our position might change.
He represents, if not the 20th century, the 19th century to me, sort of the last stand of the South against equality, I suppose.
From Stockholm, Sweden, please welcome Annika Sorenstam.
It is a man's tour. You know, we're doing this for a living, and it's taking a spot away from another guy that is struggling out there.
I'm living a dream that I want to live, and I'm doing what I want to do.
I'm embarrassed for the Yankees, the Red Sox, the fans, the umpires, and my family. So I have to say I'm sorry.
I had a chance to see my daughter play soccer this weekend. And that's what I'm going to take with me.
This is a crazy game, you know?
I owe a lot to my wife and Butch Harmon. I cost 58 guys a chance to go to the Super Bowl. That's how it feels. I'd give anything in the world except my family at this point right now to have stayed retired.
And I thought I was at the Comedy Store watching some kind of, comedian out there laughing with the Blazers and talking to them and smiling with them.
I've tried. League, I'm sorry. I've tried to hold up and hold the line. Dump it. Get rid of the whole damn thing because it doesn't work.
I will pay a referee to sit in the post and let somebody beat the crap out of him, see how he likes it.
I could give a about North Carolina right now. I've got 13 kids in that locker room that I love.
I've said all that's going to be said about it. It's none of your damn business beyond what I've said, period.
You know, you ask a lot of questions that really piss me off. And you're too young to ask those kind of questions.
You got something to say to me, you got something against me, address me, homeboy.
You know that thing that supports your back? It's called a spine. Get one.
If I didn't hurt him, he'd hurt me. They're gunning for my legs. I'm going to come right back at him. Soldier.
Send their ass to Afghanistan, they'll get fired up real quick. You know, they're the luckiest men in the world.
We've got to be the dumbest team in America in terms of playing the game. And I'm highly critical because of the way we give games away.
I think we have a coach with a very big ego, you know what I mean? And he's not listening to those veterans.
The game will be decided on that call. It's ludicrous.
You got a pretty good hit on me, but I think when I'm done playing ball, I might try acting.
I'm pissed off. So, we'll see. Should be an interesting series now. Should be really interesting.
I might be halfway stupid, but not that stupid. It was the wrong call. That's bull. Shooting a puck at someone's head. That does not happen. It will not happen with this club.
I refuse to let this program gravitate to mediocrity.
Just kind of giving
couple of watermelons, load them up with some fried chicken, and just say, you know, keep eating.
Peyton, come on, show some enthusiasm. You're the quarterback. We need to win this game, and I just don't see it from him.
I'm about to go in and throw a touchdown to Jerry Rice. We're honoring the Hall of Fame. We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off.
We will win. That's a guarantee. Is that how I'm supposed to say it?
It's time for him to do a good job. They've been drafted #1 with 4 winning records for a long time. Sooner or later, those guys ought to stand up and play.
We had an owner that had the courage to hire a 72-year-old guy, and, you know, take that, Rob Dibble.
Keyshawn ain't throwing the ball to himself, and Keyshawn ain't calling the plays, and Keyshawn ain't protecting.
I think people down there expect, you know, to get respect from everyone just because they go to see you. To me, it means squat.
I know that Bill Parcells is not for everyone in this league. I have a full understanding of that. I have had for many, many years.
I got some issues.
It's our quarterback. Did you see him play today? Shut up!
I have some issues. When you're going to take the win in overtime, you better have a damn good defense. I got issues.
Try to help you young guys in this profession you've chosen. It's 1 or 2 steps above prostitution.
I also want to thank myself.
Like Derek told me, the ghosts will show up eventually, and they did, man. This is stupid.
Never give up! Thank you, Lord! Thank you!
I'm getting ready to show you how to dance and rock the house. We went to New York, and then we came out and showed all our heart.
Take me out to the crowd.
Take me in, for the land of the free.
You can tell Yao Ming, I say,
because of what I said, 500 million people saw this game today.
I don't know. I really wish I did now, but now I really do want to rape her mama.
I sit here in front of you guys.
Charges were filed against Kobe Bean Bryant.
Furious at myself.
The defendant was charged with 1 count of sexual assault.
I'm innocent.
Thank you. I love you.
I love y'all. Thank you very much.
Still to come here on Best of Sports Center 2003. There is undeniable proof that courage comes in all sizes, even the smallest. Up next, the story of a baby who could teach any world-class athlete a thing or two about perseverance during the most difficult of times.
Brilliant abs.
Ingenious.
Of the year, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade.
2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. From the shotgun, Brooks pumps, throws down the near sideline to Stallworth, and Stallworth tries to get away from some people and does to the 38-yard line. He needs a block. He needs a couple there. They're going to lateral the ball to Michael Lewis. Michael Lewis tries to stay alive. He'll lateral it to Deuce. Deuce needing help. He laterals across the field, and the Saints are going to take it in with Payton. If this is legal, they've done it. No. Jerome Payton diving into the end zone.
I mean, you can't tell me that I just witnessed what I just saw take place.
One for the ages. for the Saints to stay alive, pending the extra point by John Carney. And he missed. No! He missed the extra point wide right. Oh, my God. How could he do that?
Plays of the year for 2003. How do you whittle it down? Well, for me, whittling down anything is tough. But so many provided so many great images throughout this whole past 12 months. You know what? This is the creme de la creme in my mind. The men among boys. But come to think of it, why don't we begin with women among men? Here we go with our top 10 plays of the year. Annika Sorenstam played at Colonial with the men, with the best on the PGA Tour, and she provided such grace, such class, such excellent play. History in the making. And so, in the Greater Hartford Open, Susie Whaley with a smile that none of us will forget. Unlikely winner of the U.S. Women's Open, Hillary Lunke made putt after putt after putt. Did we say unlikely? Hit 2 of the 4 Grand Slam events on the men's side. PGA Championship. Shawn McKeel at 18 puts a wrap on it. On we go to tennis. Juan Carlos Ferrero. Are you kidding me? Buzzer beaters in the NCAA tournament. It doesn't get much better than this. Maryland's Drew Nicholas to sink the Seahawks of UNC Wilmington. And in the end, it was defense for Syracuse. Hakeem Warwick, the big block on Michael Lee's three-pointer, and Jim Boeheim and the Orangemen are the champs. On the women's side, who's better than Diana Taurasi? Against Tennessee this heave, and UConn went all the way to win the national title. And a great career by the Admiral David Robinson ends with a championship for the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA. Look, Ma, one hand. Jason Avant to make the plays of the year from Michigan. And then USC's Mike Williams, a one-handed grab of his own. In baseball, Brian Giles by the foul pole. And then on back-to-back nights in center field, Jimmy Edmonds, not once, but Jimmy Edmonds twice. He sure is Mr. Edmonds. On the ice, Martin Brodeur now has his name with the great goalies of all time. Another cup for he and the New Jersey Devils. Paul Kariya took the lick in Game 6 of the finals from the Devils, Scott Stevens. But the Mighty Ducks had one of the great goals of the year. And considering he was just out on the ice, it will be memorable, that's for sure. And outside of Alberta, 57,000 plus watched Grant Fuhr excel in the old Oilers against the old Canadien Wayne Gretzky. Guy Lafleur, salute to all. And speaking with French accent, Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France, despite this spill, continued to win 5 straight Tour de France, the Tour de Lens. The Champs-Élysées playing the national anthem. It was quite a sight and quite a sound. I was there. Joe Giravicius, opening Monday night game of the year for the Bucks. An amazing catch against Philadelphia. Randy Moss made many amazing catches. How about that flip for the Vikes? And how about the thrill of winning a big game with a goal line stand on the last play of the game, as the Patriots did against the Colts? But the play of the year in football, the amazing Dante Hall. What? And then what? And then what? And then by the time it was over, 93-yard punt return. It helped the Chiefs beat the Broncos. It allowed the Chiefs to beat the Broncos in Week 5 as Kansas City started 9-0. We dig the long ball. Barry Bonds in a series in August against the Atlanta Braves with his dad, Bobby Bonds, at Pac-Bell for the final couple of times. Hit homers to win 2 or 3 games. By the end of the month, his dad had passed away. Carlos Delgado, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but he became the 15th player to hit 4 homers in a game. Back. Literally. Postseason home run. Do we have any better than this postseason in baseball? Nixon's the one. Trot Nixon makes it perfectly clear as the Red Sox come from behind to beat the A's. But then in the next round, they were done in. In New England, they call him Aaron Bleepin' Boone. In New York, they call him, hey, he's our Aaron Boone. What a finish to an amazing 7-game series. This was the franchise that invented losing. But when Derek Brooks scored one of 3 defensive touchdowns for the Tampa Bay Bucs with the 5 picks in the game, the Buccaneers began 0-26, but they were the champs. In baseball, the Florida Marlins. My goodness! Base hit to right. Here comes the tying run. And here comes the winning run. Pudge Rodriguez delivered in Game 3 in the opening round against the Giants. And in Game 4, he literally was the Rock of Gibraltar. Conine the throw. JT Snow is out at the plate, and the Marlins have upended the Giants. But it didn't stop there. The Cubs had a marvelous opening round win of their own, winning in Atlanta on the road. But in the 8th inning of Game 6,